you bored in your Minecraft world and want something to do? Well, gamers, I highly recommend transforming your very own village. What's that you say? You don't know where to start? Well, it just so happens that in this video, I'll be showing you over 15 village transformation ideas to inspire you to create your own. Let's get started. Okay, and of course, there's many different types of villages you can create, with the first one we're taking a look at here being a fishing village. And so for this one, we have a nice little river that kind of cuts in through the middle of this village here, and we have a bridge as well that kind of accentuates that and takes us over to this little island with a bit of a tree and some benches as well. And then that of course leads over to our pathway here, which goes over to like a bit of a nice campfire. We've got a well, we've got a floating house over there too. That's a really nice addition. And then yeah, that of course just leads over to a bunch of our different houses. And I will just say, make sure to, you know, change up the houses a little bit from the default ones if you are upgrading a vanilla village. Also, every single village I'll be showcasing in this video is available to download over on my Patreon, along with every build I've ever created. Link is in the description. Okay, back to the video. Next up, we have a cherry blossom biome village, which, yeah, this one is absolutely massive. So my good friend Extra and I built this together. We added in this massive kind of ring of trees that, you know, theoretically would probably extend a little bit further. This is kind of, you know, maybe a bit weird looking. But yeah, a few things that make this village really stand out and make it really unique is that we have this massive canal that runs through the entire thing. And then the other end, of course, leads over to this big lake here where we've actually added a dock and some coral into it as well. And then the other thing that makes this village really unique is this central kind of massive market area. Usually I make these areas kind of pretty small in my village, but I thought it would look nice putting it on like this nice raised textured stone kind of platform, and it sprawls across the other side of the canal as well. And I just really love the way this looks. It is awesome. And then to tie everything in together, of course, we have all of the custom house designs made with all of the new cherry wood. And yeah, we've just added in a whole bunch of those different house designs. And yeah, so if you're looking to build your very own custom cherry blossom biome village, then yeah, hopefully this is some pretty good inspiration for you. And my second fishing village that I've made is this one right here in my hardcore world. This one, in my opinion, is a little bit more suited to the name of a fishing village because, you know, half of it is situated on a dock here that actually sprawls over this big lake. We've also got a bunch of trading stalls all along this dock here. And then as we head onto the actual like main dock portion, we've got all these buildings here that are meant to be kind of like trading stalls and storage like areas and stuff like that. And yeah, just all of that stuff combined helps make it look more like a fishing village instead of just, you know, a regular old village. Speaking of regular old villages, that's kind of what this one is supposed to be, also on my hardcore world, conveniently right next to that one. And yeah, so of course it's fine to have, you know, maybe an unthemed village. I guess this one could be considered like a medieval themed village. And yeah, this one also being quite a lot bigger than the previous ones that we've looked at, as it has, what the hell? Jesus Christ. What are you doing in my village, brother? Get the hell out. Oh my god, man. Now I'm poisoned for 40 seconds. What the hell? So it has a bunch of useful stuff in it too, kind of like this build over here, which I made in the same style as all of the builds here, but it actually has like some farms and stuff in it. Over here in the middle, we have this giant centerpiece of like a massive cave opening, which I just thought was really cool. And yeah, and then we just have like a whole bunch of different kinds of buildings. Like we have a bell tower over there. We've got a blacksmith, an archery range, and yeah, just a whole massive variety of different builds throughout this village. Next up, we have something a little bit different. Well, once again, it is a medieval town, but this time it is very small. It only consists of these two buildings. We've got a bridge design and also a little bit of a crop farm over here as well. So maybe if you're looking for something not too, you know, crazy massive of a project and you're wanting something a little bit small but very detailed, then this is definitely a really nice idea for you. It could even work as a nice kind of two-player little village where you have, you know, your base here, maybe your friend's base over here. Next up, we have this absolutely massive farming type of village where on the left side we just have a whole bunch of these different house designs with a pathway that leads all throughout all of them. Then we have this nice little man-made river that kind of cuts in between the village, and that leads over to the other side where we just have these absolutely massive sprawling crop fields. This is definitely a very unique and different type of village where, you know, half of it is village and half of it is crops. It's kind of weird, but kind of cool at the same time. Next up, we have a bit of a smaller village, and it also looks really nice as well. So we've got this big palisade wall that surrounds the entire thing, and we've also got a little central gate here as well. This could probably be made to look a little bit better, let's be honest. And yeah, that of course leads us into the village where we've got this big main pathway that branches off into little pathways that kind of loop around here throughout all of the different house designs. And we also have this big sprawling crop farm that kind of surrounds this wall as well. And now for a very different kind of village, we have a jungle treetop village. So if you don't want to build anything like I've previously shown and you're wanting something very kind of different, you could go for something like this. We've just added a whole bunch of platforms to all of these existing jungle trees, and we've connected them all up using some bridges and stuff. We've even got little bamboo farm platforms over here as well. And then heading all the way up the ladder to some of these little houses, we've got, well, you know, little houses up here. We've got like storage and crafting and beds and everything. And then this all even leads over to this side where we've got another farm. We've even got like a cool freaking like rain collector setup going where we've got water in these leaves that drip into these cauldrons and look like, you know, rain collectors. Next up, we have another very different kind of village, and you might be wondering where it is, and it's actually an underwater village. And so above the water here, we have this nice like kind of dock arrival area where, you know, you'd pull up, and then you have this thing in the middle here, which is actually an elevator that takes you down to the underwater village. And yeah, so coming all the way down, that leads us to the pathway, which of course leads over to all of the different houses in this underwater village. And we've made all of these bases in like kind of a Subnautica style, where we've got like big glass ceilings for some of them, and we've utilized blue concrete as well, which is definitely a really nice addition to these kind of bases, just so they aren't so monochrome, you know, just black and white. But I mean, you could use any kind of color. You could go with orange or anything, you know. We've even got an underwater greenhouse over here too, complete with a chicken inside as well. And yeah, if you want to watch me build this village in hardcore survival, be sure to check that episode out. Next up, we have the complete village from my first hardcore series. We've got a dock build outside here, and that, well, should have had a pathway connecting up to the actual village. In here, we've got some nice build designs like a blacksmith over here. We've got kind of the town center here, which is actually a big park design with a custom tree. I don't know what all these villagers are doing up here on the roof or how they even got there. Back here, we've got an absolutely massive castle, and this was actually my big ass mob spawner that I made. Over this way, we've got like a little mini bridge that leads over to this side that I never really completed. We've got a big automatic crop farm, my main base over here, and then also a big massive iron golem farm back over this way as well. And yeah, if you want to watch me build all of this in hardcore, be sure to check out the series. Next up, we have a desert themed village. So we just found a desert village that was already existing, and we just pretty much replaced all of the buildings and upgraded them to have these nice little details. And yeah, so for this village, we added in a big dirt path for this one as it contrasts nicely to the sand. For the town kind of center here, we've got this big like well design with a bit of a water moat around it, which looks really cool. We've even made that moat kind of sprawl off into a little bit of a river here that goes this way, and it leads over to this big lake thing too. And yeah, then of course we just have like a whole bunch of little house designs. We've even got towers as well in some key locations. And then at the very back here, we've got like this massive like desert style mansion as well with a big flag, towers on either side. And yeah, this one's meant to be maybe like a government kind of building or the town hall or something like that. Next up, we're taking another look at a farming village on my hardcore world. So pretty similar to all the other villages, except we just have accentuated all of the crop farms around the place. As you can see, we've even got some over here over this big bridge, and it sprawls all the way over to this side as well. And yeah, so farming villages are definitely a really easy village type to make, as a lot of area can just be, of course, taken up by crop fields, which always look nice. Over here, we have a nice little different kind of mine entrance design, and then we just have like a whole bunch of houses up here and also over there past the bridge as well. Now, I don't really know if this next one classifies as a village, as that's not really what we intended. It's more of like a big marketplace, but you could easily make this, you know, into a village or something like that. And yeah, once again, this one is a very unique. It's kind of situated on a big rock in the middle of the ocean. It's got a big sprawling dock here out the front of it with a whole bunch of places where you can arrive at a boat, and then it just leads over to a bunch of market stalls. You know, you could even add in these big massive boat designs kind of parked alongside the dock as well to make it feel a little bit more, you know, lived in. And just as a little bonus over here, we have a bit of a smaller version of the one that I just showcased. This one's just a single lone trader. Got a big boat parked up next to it, and this big dock as well that leads over to the little thing. I don't know, I just thought I'd showcase that. And I might as well also showcase this because I just saw it in the corner of my eye. We've got this big tower, which would also be a nice addition to the first one that I showcased. Maybe a little bit smaller of a tower because this would be pretty big, but that could be kind of, or even like a lighthouse or something like that. And that just gave me the idea to show this lighthouse. Maybe this one would be more suited to the first one that I showcased. Yeah, sorry about this big tangent. Let's get back to the village transformations. Next up, we have this massive plains village with a nice little kind of weeping willow tree as the town center. We've got a river that runs through it, goes this way, and then we have another river over back here as well, which leads over to another little area of the village too. We've got big crop farms that sprawl across some areas of the village as well. We've got this nice like detailed cliff design which separates the top half and the bottom half of the village, and even a little dock over here too. So yeah, this village definitely has a whole bunch of nice little details everywhere that I highly recommend adding to your own villages. Next up, we actually have the first ever massive village that I built with my good friend Extra. This was also my first ever survival series that I made on this channel. So be sure to watch that if you want to watch us build all of these. I will warn you though, it is very old, so yeah, it's kind of weird. But yeah, this is also a very different kind of village. We haven't really stuck with a kind of central theme. We've just built a whole bunch of just random builds. I mean, they do kind of have a theme of like, you know, just stone and spruce, but yeah, it's not meant to be like cohesive, I guess. I don't really know how to explain it. But yeah, we've got some cool builds, like a massive grand library over here. Let's quickly showcase the interior because I think it looks pretty nice. Yeah, just massive library. We've got a big chandelier as well. We've got a big crane design here for our stone quarry. We've got Extra's house over here, which is absolutely huge. We've got my house over here, which is not very huge. This one's more of like a an end game kind of village. You know, you build this over several kind of months, which is exactly what we did. And yeah, so that pretty much does it for all of the village transformations that I've done so far. If you wanted to actually download any of these, I have pretty much all of them on my Patreon, so be sure to check that out if you're interested. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.